Hi there. Welcome to Apple World. What's going on, Puff? I'll have returned to you on the off chance that JD ain't had enough. Better believe it. If you were to ask me, child, around the locals we dance and sing a smidgen, yet, we truly got into it a ton when we met JINA maker. The deep, dark hole of upsetting Diddy charges is getting more insanely. Reports simply surfaced that Feline Williams found Diddy and Jermaine Dupri were both purportedly prepping and abusing young male craftsmen, including Crosswise. One of the confounding individuals, Kris Kelly, passed on from an OD in 2013, and tales are circumventing that his substance habit was set off by some injury he went through as a youngster star. We as a whole realize that accounts like this one are not uncommon in Hollywood, and numerous kid stars fell into fixation in the wake of being supplicated on and damaged. Orlando Brown, Jennette McCurdy, Feldman, Amanda Bones, and numerous others. Now these bits of hearsay about Jermaine Dupri doing something unseemly to Bungle are not precisely new anyway. A video as of late re-emerged where Feline Williams got down on both Diddy and Jermaine, and presently, fans are saying the whole media outlet is based on prepping misuse and dealing. However, what precisely did Katt say about Jermaine Dupri and Diddy, and did Bungle mag? Daddy is truly OD, and in light of the injury he went through, we should get into it. I'm told, doggy, I don't allow men to take me out, sir. I'm great. So to give you some setting, Kris Kross turned into a mega-effective hip jump pair when they were just 12 and 13. Kris McDaddy Kelly and Kris Daddy Mama Smith were found by Jermaine Dupri in 1991, and only 1 year after the fact they detonated onto the scene with their gigantic hit. Hop the Tune was in a real sense, wherever managing the Bulletin Hot 100 for a considerable length of time straight, and went twofold platinum as a solitary jumble, proceeded to deliver 3 studio collections, which were all created by Jermaine Dupri, and made monstrous business progress, their most memorable collection completely collapsed. Rossed Out came to multi-platinum status, while their second What's More, third were confirmed platinum and gold. Separately, there's no question that Jermaine Dupri had an ear and eye for ability, since thanks to him, Befuddle turned into the most best and most youthful melodic demonstration of the mid-9s. Anyway, there's one more side involved, and after Kris McDaddy Kelly kicked the bucket from an OD in 2013, upsetting tales begun circling that the young men were prepped and potentially disregarded ring their beginning of their profession on April 29, 2013. Kris was found oblivious in his Atlanta home and taken to the emergency clinic. He unfortunately spent away 2 days after the fact at age 34, and his family affirmed to the police that Kris had a broad history of medication. The following day, Jermaine delivered a letter to fans and said that Kris Kell resembled a child that he never had. To the world, Kris Kelly was Mama Daddy, but to me, he was the child I never had. Jermaine said, when I consider it, I invest more energy with Kris and Kris than damn close to anyone in my entirety life, so you can envision how awful this damage is anyway. When Jermaine showed up on Vlad television in 2018, fans thought his response to Vlad's inquiry regarding Kris' passing was bizarre. He didn't know precisely how old Kris was the point at which he kicked the bucket, and he likewise got truly uneasy when inquired as to whether he stayed in contact with Kris and afterward one of the individuals passes no at a not just later, however, yet years after the fact. Definitely he passes at a very early on. Was it 30-something? No doubt. I suspect as much. Did you see that approaching at all? Were you all still in contact? No, I didn't. I didn't see that approaching. We was wet. Was in, we had quite recently did the 20th commemoration, so it resembled, we had quite recently begun, having a ton considerably more discourse about them going on visit and doing different things after the 20th commemoration. Obviously, this is imply that Jermaine did something to Kris anyway. The bits of hearsay just wouldn't disappear. Fans begun going through old meetings of Kris Kross from the mid-90s and brought up that in their most memorable media appearances. When Jumble previously exploded, Kris Kelly appeared to be extremely cordial, well-disposed, and loaded with grins anyway. A couple of years after the fact, he appeared to be broken and miserable in pretty much at eerie meeting, or as yet our companions then other portion of our classmates are desirous, and afterward, then you have a portion of your classmates fire admiring, you saying that they need to be like you, and they gonna begin their own gathering and stuff like that, and will you help me out? One fan remarked those young men were frightened and damaged. I see past the surface, and someone else composed they look so lost and damaged, I can envision what they needed to go through to the next day. And that being in the business, the bits of hearsay about Jermaine, either doing something to mismatch or permitting others in the business to do it, keep on coursing for quite a long time after Chris Kelly's passing, and at one point Jermaine tended to these charges and applaud back at an on a fan. Since erased IG post saying definitely a long time back you were in Crosswise even had a claim which they won, yet it was kept from general society anyway, Jermaine immediately terminated back you should be. Out of your effing mind, I ought to sue you for composing this discourteous on my page F out of here now. No part of this is genuine proof that Jermaine did anything to the mismatch young men after. This is a regular talk at whatever point you have a youthful craftsman being guided by somebody a lot more seasoned and strong in the business anyway. Gossip. It has endured, and a piece of the explanation is on the grounds that Feline Williams approached and openly called Jermaine the P word. As a matter of fact, he called him the Lord of the Peas back in 2011. A video sprung up showing Feline freestyling, and Feline came for everybody, including Diddy Jermaine and Steve Harvey. What's going on, Puff? I'll have returned to you in the event that JD ain't had enough. Better believe it. Jermaine Dupri, ruler of the If You Ask Me child presently, you'll concur that what whistled Jermaine is presumably the most awful thing that you can call somebody anyway. Jermaine never addressed Feline's remarks or taken steps to sue him like he compromised that irregular fan on Instagram. Then again, a great many people thought Feline was high on something when this was shot, and nobody truly treated him in a serious way, so perhaps Jermaine thought it wasn't even worth tending to. However, at that point, the story took one more turn when Bow Wow, who was likewise guided by Jermaine beginning at age 11, added more fuel to these reports in 2018 when he tweeted this: Yo Jermaine Dupri, on the off chance that you don't answer my call, I will tell the world that you in clear space. So considering these new cases about Diddy purportedly dealing his craftsman, fans are beginning to look sideways at every one of these strong and powerful industry figures. On the off chance that you missed it, Diddy's previous protector Gandio as of late spilled that he saw Diddy saying he needed to get Danity Kane individuals snared on medications and pimp them out. He stood up there and he said before many individuals we were in the studio, and I expressed something to him and left the studio. He said, yo, I'ma drug their off and got them and pimp them out to my. He said I'ma drug them out. I'ma get them generally on medications and I'ma pimp their out to my. I resembled know someone children, and afterward, obviously, Cassie devoted a huge part of her claim against Diddy to dealing, charging that Diddy constrained her into experiences with male-s laborers, which he presumably coordinated, and revealed fans are currently hypothesizing that even in the event that Jermaine himself never really confounded young men, he could have presented them to things they shouldn't have been presented to at that age, similar to what ended up guiding in Puffy Flavor Camp. And afterward, there's likewise the way that some industry sources guarantee that J. Pinkett Smith exploited Chris Kelly when Kris was, all things considered, 14 or 15. These charges came from rapper D.O.D. Dillinger, who worked intimately with Tupac and produces collection All Lies on Me. In a 2021 meeting, Doe's guaranteed that Jada had a snare with Chris Kelly back in 1993. J-Pick was trapping. She was ensnaring with Chris Kelly from Mother Bungle, cuz Kris Kross was in the room. What's more, he resembled Jada. Pin is at the entryway, yet don't leave, take this weed chill. We like damn mother provided us with an ounce of weed, going to kick it here. Then he returned. He said, better believe it, that was Jada pinking. I'm similar to Jada pinking quite early in life. Additionally, we can't fail to remember that Puma Wright said she heard that rouse young fellows took off reaming from Jaden Will's home. In their mentorship, they're both sexually unbiased. They do bizarre things in their home, and young fellows have gone out shouting to move away from them in their mentorship. Compliant plants, Basher Dark went out shouting, and fans are currently saying that regardless of whether Jermaine